Hey guys, so I'm still working on that essay in my only spare notebook. So here we are. I'm actually hoping to have that essay done tomorrow, maybe. If nothing else by this weekend. Um, so let's talk about the 90s. What about the 90s? Well, much like the 80s, the best way to describe the 90s is they were the 90s. Okay, I'm not saying the 80s were the 90s, I'm saying the best way to explain the 80s is that they were the 80s. Okay? So, in the mail the other day, thank you, eBay, came the wonderfully, obnoxiously, horribly, for some reason I love it, movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And loved it as a kid. And the last time I watched it prior to tonight, I was probably 12. So, anyways, I actually watched it with my dad tonight because he hung out here instead of his house after he graciously picked me up from work because I don't have a car. So there's that. He hated it, but I definitely feel like you have to be, born in the 90s to, really appreciate that movie. And I don't even appreciate it. It's stupid as hell, but I really like it at the same point. I don't know. I've always been a Christina Applegate fan in terms of like when she's not an obnoxious adult. So that pretty much leaves Married with Children and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. And okay, I'm sure she did more stuff than those two things. In fact, I'm pretty positive of it. But those are the only two things that I have found that I don't want to just shoot her between the eyes. And I'm not saying she's a bad actress. While there are better than her out there, she just picks crappy roles. And that's okay. A lot of actors do. Cough. Patch Adams. Cough. So, But, I don't know. My dad laughed a few times. Well, that was okay. So, anyways. I have a scratch on my face and it hurts. So I'm scratching it more. Right? Okay. So, I don't feel like I can say anything about this movie that hasn't already been said. It's stupid as hell. But I find with this movie and many others, you either love it or you absolutely hate it. To the point you burn it. I don't know if that one's true, but we'll go with that analogy. My mom, I don't know if she's ever seen it, but she said it didn't interest her. So, and I don't know if my brother's ever seen it. I talked to him, we just don't talk about movies. But I also find that the people who really like this movie are, like, born in the 90s. And I was born in 92. So, granted my brother was born in 95, so I guess he still qualifies. Even though he can't really remember the 90s. I vaguely remember them. That doesn't matter, just whatever. So, but I guess that's true of any movie in any decade. Although, I don't know, the classics, like Mary Poppins came out in the 60s. Definitely wasn't born in the 60s, but people my age love that movie. Wizard of Oz came out in the 30s. Hell, the silent film came out before that. And I know people younger than me that love the silent film. Although, I digress. But I was watching a silent Hitchcock film called The Farmer's Wife. Was not a fan. And I love Hitchcock. So, I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. Um, I mean, if you've never seen this movie, the basic plot is there's four kids. Their mom goes to Australia for whatever you do in Australia. Um, and then they get this babysitter, but she's basically a dictator, and then she dies. In case you didn't gather that from the title. So the four kids all band together and save Christmas. No, not really. But Christina Applegate gets a job at a really prestigious fashion place, and then the stoner learns how to cook. Yay for cooking. I'm not very good at it. And then the one brother breaks his leg, and then nothing happens to the one daughter. I don't even know why she's in the movie. And then mom shows up, and they're all grounded and into the movie. But yeah. I don't know. I really do, hate to admit that I'm a fan of this movie. And I don't even know what it is about the movie that I like, because it is stupid as hell, but then again, I like stupid movies. And I mean, I like bad, stupid movies. Most of the time. So I'm trying to... Alpha and Omega, which I reviewed a couple reviews ago. No, that was... No. But, I don't know, I'm trying to think of it. Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain. If you know anything about that movie, you'll know how bad it is. Of course, it does star Hulk Hogan. So there you go. No, that's actually probably my favorite out of... Well, there's three at least. Is there four of those movies? I don't remember. But, no, that's totally my favorite. Because it's just so bad. But, I don't know. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is actually... I babysat a couple of kids last night. And by a couple, I mean four. But, and I was actually, gonna bring it to babysit. And I'm really glad I didn't, because I actually just forgot it. But I watched it tonight, and I forgot how many times the F word comes up. And the kids I babysit are like 4. So, I'm glad I didn't do that. But, I don't know, go watch it. It's a good, it's one of those good time killer movies. You know. And you don't have to think too hard. I don't know, unless you could think about the pot and how it teaches you to cook. I don't know. But yeah. No, go watch it if you haven't. Oh, my next film is a Korean horror movie called The Host, which, from what I can understand, is about a mutant sea creature who kind of created by like a toxic, there we go, dump scenario thing. And then he kidnaps a chick, and then the chick's grandpa goes after her. On that one, it sounds really lame. Until Korean movies are, according to a friend, because I've never seen one, they're creepy as all get out. So, all I ask is that the CGI on this sea monster thing is better than the Langoliers. I don't think it can be worse. Okay, knock on wood. I don't- Drywall works too. But yeah. So I'll get that up and running soon. Later.